Sup, my dudes? What's up, my dudes? Thor USA gear set, MXoN leash, brother, on the Yamaha, brother. Oh, Spency boy got it dialed for the video out here, boys. We got it dialed for the little red, white, and blue out here, baby. Oh, yeah. I got to looking on the MXoN leash, and I was like, oh, shit. There's a red, white, and blue Thor set, bro. Perfect, bro. Perfect. Okay. So, we got moto news coming out of our ass cracks out here. I mean, it's pretty well constant right now. So, Cooper Webb will be going to the Motocross Nations on a 250, bro. 250. This is kind of crazy. Sparks up a lot of weird, well, I guess it wasn't Star Yamaha not letting Deegan go, and, it kind of got a lot of people thinking, got a lot of people kind of questioning certain things out there. Whoa, that's collidable. Do not cross, Spency boy. Read the sign, buddy. Okay, so, yeah, here's the thing. I know a lot of people are giving Deegan shit, and I've given him a lot of shit for a lot of the stupid shit over the years, right? But it's one of those things, man. I mean, I honestly don't believe the Hayden Deegan just didn't want to go to motocross, and I just don't believe it. I don't believe it. I think, that's all he wanted to do was go out there and have a Ryan Villapoto style, go out there and smoke everybody in the world on a 250. That seems more logical to me than Hayden Deegan just didn't want to go. Okay? And there can be multiple things true at the same time. It's kind of funny. A lot of people seem to forget that. And a lot of people like to cross compare things like, bro, that's crazy that, Webb would go and Deegan doesn't even want to go, or, Hymas was going to go, but Deegan didn't want to go. Well, they're all in a different situation, too. It's like, Cooper Webb, he's already went through his whole 250 career. He's already proved himself plenty enough on a 450 where he's going to have a 450 factory ride for probably the foreseeable rest of his career, regardless of how he does. So it's not like Webb's over there thinking, boy, I got to go out in Supercross next year and I got to win that Supercross championship so I can move up to the 450 class on a good team. He's just in a totally different kind of situation. Yeah, don't get me wrong, it's cool that Webb's going back, throwback to his Star Yamaha 250 days, but I don't see him doing anything crazy. He would have had to have done more on the 450 outdoors here recently for me to have any sort of thought like that, right? But yeah, it's, there's a lot of that patriotic blaming going on, I guess you would call it. Now, the whole thing with Deegan talking about he ain't going because Star Yamaha ain't letting him go, and then here they go, they're letting Webb go, right? Well, the deal about that, the particular aspect of that, I think a lot of you guys are getting a little tricked up on. Listen, bro, you really need to understand this, right? Just because they're letting Webb go on a Star Yamaha doesn't necessarily mean they wanted Deegan to go with him needing to have that surgery on the wrist and get out there for Supercross next year, making sure he can have enough time to get ready for Supercross next year. You see how there can be two things true at once. It seems like the internet world and, Twitter X Twitter, bro, seems like they have a real bad habit of if they see something that looks, that they can, make it sound real simple, they can, dumb it down in a way and make it look like, bro, looky there, told you, dude, it wasn't Star Yamaha saying Deegan couldn't go because, looky there, Webb's going on one. Yeah, but Star Yamaha very well might have talked to Deegan like, hey, do you think we really should be doing all this? If you need to be getting this surgery on your wrist and, you haven't even won a Supercross championship yet on a 250, and you say you're going to do that before you move up to a 450, you know, it's kind of starting to get like crunch time for Hayden Deegan to win that 250 Supercross championship. Meanwhile, you've got Cooper Webb that, like, he don't really have to go get a surgery before next year's Supercross. You know, he's already won 250 championship. He's already won 450 Supercross championship. He don't really, like, have to go, just demortally have to go out there and prove something next year. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you're cross comparing at that point. It's not the same comparison. Now, I don't know what all's been said behind the scenes. I'm just saying, just because Webb's able to go on a Star Yamaha does not automatically mean that Deegan was completely lying to you about Star Yamaha not letting him go. Now, you know, there could be levels to that shit. There could be, like, maybe Star Yamaha wasn't saying he just couldn't go, but maybe they thought he shouldn't go. And so it was still his decision at the end of the day. Then he chose not to go for that sort of a reason. I don't know. You know, there is a lot of weird, I mean, they tried to hide the wrist injury coming into Supercross this year. I will admit, there's a lot of weird, bizarre ass shit that goes on over there at that Deegan camp. You know, you have the claimed bike at Loretta's, blah, 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 you know, this, that, and another. Jim Bobby Bob Sue claims Jimmy's bike, right? You know, there's been a lot of shit, right? But I don't know. I look at it at the core level of Bro Spitzy Boy out there playing chicken. Holy shit. Ride the track backwards, will it backwards. But yeah, at the base level, I know how, you know, on his A game, how much Deegan's trying to prove he's the best one out there. I just don't see it. Nice little log bounce. I don't see it in the sense of Deegan just doesn't want to go and have his chance to prove himself, you know, going up against the whole world on a 250. I fucking know he does. I know he does. So that, like, at a base level, sort of trumps everything else to me in a sense. Do you see what I'm saying? I don't know. I can't, I'm not behind the scenes. I'm not, you know, looking at who's saying what and who's approving of what and what happens with this or that or what the fuck ever. I just know, you know, a lot of people that don't really understand are giving an opinion on it like they do fully understand. Do you see what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. You can't necessarily assume just because Webb's going on a Star Yamaha, that automatically means that, you know, Star Yamaha was trying to get Webb to go, or I mean, trying to get Deegan to go, and he just backed out. Like, that's not even necessarily what that means. Do you see what I'm saying? So, now I will admit it is a little weird because it ain't like Deegan's like gravely injured right now. It's just he's got to go get a surgery apparently to fix a previous injury. Not even fix it, just get the screws out or whatever, which I do think that is somewhat crucial. Like certain athletes, you know, it's kind of different if you're not really like an athlete. You don't necessarily have to go back in there and get that shit took out, but I think it's pretty common practice if they're, you know, trying to have like a long-term pro career in something to go back in there and actually get the plates and the screws and the, you know, the, you know, flathead, you know, Phillips screws took out. Like, I think that probably is, they may be looking at it in a long-term career sense, like, bro, we got to get ready for Supercross next year, you know. Spincy boy out here, the K-Dub fucking transferred, brother. So I could definitely see Star Yamaha and Deegan sitting down and having that conversation. I just can. I can see that. Because he's been so close to winning that Supercross title. You know, still hasn't gotten it. And you know how that goes. You know how that shit goes. In the 250 class, when they struggle to get that Supercross championship, you look at dudes like, you know, Jeremy Martin. You know, he went out there and won 2, not 1, fucking deuces. 250 Pro Outdoor Championships. He did more than what Deegan has done to this point. and just could never really get that Supercross championship, so then he never really got a 450 factory ride, and then now he's never really done anything on a 450 long term in his career. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, it's like, how much do you want to risk, you know, cutting it close time-wise to be able to get back on the bike before Supercross? Now, why Deegan couldn't have just raced East Coast, that's also another argument you could have, you know what I'm saying? Definitely let me know down in the comments what you guys think, but yeah, typically I'm pretty harsh on Deegan about certain things, but this particular situation, I don't know, man. It don't make sense as to why Deegan wouldn't want to go. So, I don't think that's what it is. Do you see what I'm saying?